Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so I said in the earlier video that I was going to do 4 videos over this weekend. 2 for DM and 2 for DF. So this is the second one for the DMs, and this one is sacred sexuality. So let's do exactly what we saw with the first one on safety and intimacy and see where the DMs are at regarding sacred sexuality. So here we go. What are the 3 main energies? Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for where the DMs are at regarding sacred sexuality and this connection? 1, 2, 3. Okay, what are we getting? Oh, this one wanted to come out. Judgment and the moon in the reverse. So their eyes are being open to the divine feminine ways. The moon is secrets, but in the reverse, those secrets are out. And judgment, that is a major eye-opening. Yeah. Look at that sun with the lotus. Lotuses come up through the muck and into the light of day. So there it is. Okay. And then we have a Knight of Swords. So a lack of communication. Communication makes the difference between, you know, just banging and maybe, you know, making love, being truly intimate. And what else do we have? The World in reverse with the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords came out regarding safety and intimacy for the masculines in the first read today. Bottom of the deck, the Magician in the reverse. So that's an energy that can mean not wanting to deliberately manifest or manipulation. And sometimes if we're not taking accountability, it can look like manipulation, but it also, we're at the mercy of it. So not choosing is a choice. Magician in the reverse might not always be the way to go. So let's see. I did do this emotionally, mentally, and in the physical realm for the first one. I'm going to connect those energies here again. I meant to say that out loud. We're going to do this again that same way. So in the emotional realm, they know better. They know what's written on their heart. They know right from wrong. You know, it's that lusty thing versus true love. I do believe that we have true love scribed onto our hearts. And the Judgment card here, this is the remembrance. This is the second chance at that. You know, sometimes we have these deviant ways based on trauma, based on lack of faith, mistrust, failures, discouragement. The Judgment card is the second chance. And so there is this emotional knowing that the Holy Grail is this incredible, deep, sacred sexuality. Let's get some clarifiers on this. It's like they know, they absolutely know the truth. Yeah, it's the pros and cons. This is so interesting. We've seen this energy quite a bit where there is taking stock. What fruits do we want to produce? This is a card of investment. In the reverse, it's like an investment in self. I'm getting one message that investing in self is synonymous with aligning with the DF energy, divine feminine energy. And when they don't invest in self, or do the work, or put the time in to think about actions in a more long-term way, that they haven't been choosing a deep connection because they've thought that would mean work. Karma's a bitch, though. If you don't put in the work, you get karma. You get karmic backlash. You get you get, I want to say, retribution. But that's just the way of it. If you do things that are not life-affirming, somewhere it leaves imbalances and loose ends. And this is a gardening card. You know, if the garden doesn't get the right nutrients, the right sunlight, the right water requirements, it fails. So too in sexuality, there are so many things, dare I say, STIs, unwanted pregnancies, carelessness, all of those things. But in meditations this last week, I asked the divine, what will the divine masculines, what will change them when it's their turn to see the light? What will make the difference? And the divine said to me, they'll desire growth. They will desire the real thing. This gardening card in the reverse is things not growing, not producing fruit, not resulting in success, not developing and becoming nourishing. So it does seem to be that the divine masculines are beginning to realize that lusty or temporary instant gratification type things are not producing the fruit that they're starting to desire. Okay, on the conscious mind, not communicating is right there. So what else can we see about the lack of communication? Devil, the moon, and temperance. Oh, 3 major arcana. And yeah, we have the moon for the second time. This was already divine feminine essence being seen, secrets coming out. You know, the moon, things done by the cover of moonlight are being brought into the light of day. So shady behavior is also catching up to the divine masculines, I want to say. But there's another thing here. Knight of Swords is clarified by Devil. This is in the reverse. So part of the reason that they're not communicating, part of the reason, divine masculines, that you've got this lack of communication is because there are some dirty secrets. There are some, let's just say, kinks, fetishes, temptations. There's some stuff that divine masculines are into that they know divine feminine you're not going to be into. Literally, they have some sexual habits, they have some secrets that are devil energy, and then we have this temperance. So divine masculines are kind of coming out of this darkness and into the light here on the conscious mind too. Not talking about things. So divine masculines, you never know unless you talk to your divine feminine about your sexual habits, what you're into. you know, there is a chance that something that you think is taboo, divine masculine, that you think your divine feminine would think is taboo, isn't. You might have been denying yourself conversations with your divine feminine about certain sexual preferences, habits, likes, that maybe they're healthier than you think they are. There's something like that here. Or on the flip, you're coming out of some, oh, I just heard porn addiction. Ooh, I'm hearing quite a few things that like borderline, I just heard borderline legal age. Ew, divine masculines. But okay, so there are some things that divine masculines are really working on healing sexually. There's some tender energy here that divine masculines are having a little bit of a struggle, but they're winning, you know, with sex addictions and things like that, or guilty conscience, whether they actually are acting out on things or not. It does appear that divine masculines are getting a handle on certain things and healing. So I do want to say there is communication coming eventually over this stuff, divine feminines, but we don't really talk about things much until we've healed, until we've come through it. I just heard rehab. So for some divine masculines, there are some pretty major, inner child histories being healed, trauma counseling I just heard for abuse. Really tender things on the mind space that the divine masculines are processing and working through, that one day they'll be able to talk to you about, divine feminines. So yeah, I'm just being drawn to the tears, these water droplets that have been putting out the fire in these connections because there has been grieving and mourning, and they haven't talked to you. I just heard from many divine feminines, you have no idea what your divine masculine has survived. Yeah, so some of those things. I just heard it's not easy being a masculine on the planet these days. There's a lot, I just heard hazing and a lot of pressure. So yeah, there's a lot on the conscious mind that the divine masculines are, you know, desiring to bring into this emotional purity, because they literally are broken. They're literally at a place where they know that the things that they've been acting out are dead-end streets, and they're craving love. Wow. In the physical, we get the World and the Ten of Swords, just like we got out in the other reading earlier today. So let's get some clarification. Well, Ten of Swords is the rock bottom left for dead. For some of these secrets and preferences have resulted in some pretty sketchy things coming up to haunt the masculines. Clinging to the world. The world in the reverse can be a refusal to let go of worldly pleasures, I just heard. But it's like this tug of war with the mind at odds with the soul. And some of the nastiness that results from clinging to these things of the world, there comes a time when the soul just literally is at odds with the flesh. And that is what I'm feeling from that. That is crazy. But you've got this divine masculines. There's a high level of arriving energy that I'm feeling in this that really does show divine masculines you wanting to overcome this stuff. Okay, what can we see for clarifiers? Yeah, well, we got the Magician in the upright and the Spiritual Initiate. So Divine Masculines, this is a card of bringing things to the altar, laying down your burden, literally letting go of the burden by forgiving yourself and, you know, chalking it up to learning and first-hand experience on the earth plane so that you can clear that karma and manifest a better world. I'm literally getting that. Okay, so let's get some messages for the Divine Masculines. Let's get some encouragement. So the first one, emotionally, seeing that, like knowing the love that's written on the heart, and then seeing the trauma pathways, the rebellious pathways, the disintegrated pathways, not producing fruit. What can we see regarding sexuality on the emotional level for the Divine Masculines? Wow. Okay, we got 4. Basically, chakra, Kabbalah, spiritual path, life lessons, and karma. So, you know, all of these things that you have emotionally navigated, good, bad, the ugly, it's a spiritual progression. It's life path, life lessons, and karma. So you have seen what doesn't produce fruit, what does produce fruit, and what's in alignment and not. Radon atom, autonomy, self-fulfillment, and non-reaction. So you are breaking through into neutrality, into holding your own, into being noble. Radon is a noble gas. It's inert, and so it's stable. You've come into a stable frequency regarding being able to be objective about what emotionally serves and what doesn't. This speaks of profound maturity and overcoming. And on the, we got 2 more cards. We got Seal of Individuality, Authenticity, Uniqueness, and Integration. That's very similar to the Radon card here with self-fulfillment, autonomy, and non-reaction. Authenticity and autonomy. You don't have to follow the crowd, Divine Masculines. You are coming into holding your own and being able to be a light. Starbody matrix, multidimensional consciousness, holographic information. So you are contributing to the ascension of the planet by doing this emotional work, emotional filtration, Divine Masculines. You are transmuting on behalf of the collective. You are pumping holographic love messages into the collective mind as you step into this wisdom and you reclaim your own autonomy and authenticity and return to what is written on your heart, that which produces fruit. Beautiful. What would the Divine Masculines say to you, Divine Feminines, based on this emotional understanding? I think so, yes. And the Ace of Swords. This is in the reverse. This is truth. So, yeah, I think so, yes. This is the truth, but they haven't fully integrated. They haven't finished this sorting process. They haven't completely come into the autonomy and authenticity, but they think so. It is more than a good theory. It's being included, but it's on its way kind of thing. Let's see what else we can get here. So for the mind space, this not being able to talk about certain results of the trauma, disintegration, all of that, what can we see for the Divine Masculines? Flower of feeling, compassion, emotional awakening, and forgiveness. Yeah, that's the key. Forgiving yourself. Many Divine Masculines, you know, many people on the planet have had the sacral chakra knocked out. Abuse and just bombardment with sexual repression and nastiness and sexual slavery and control on the planet. It's been a dark, barbaric thing. And so forgiveness is key. Forgiveness frees you, Divine Masculine, and allows you to keep healing and letting go of the devil energy. Every person that does come into that self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others so that they can unhook, aligns with compassion, makes the world a better place. The bar is raised, and we get seal of clairsentience, clarity, knowledge, channeling, and unification. Yeah. It's really interesting because the sacral chakra I just mentioned, when that is damaged through sexual trauma or other anything, we forget the voice of the divine. It's our channeling chakra. It is our ecstatic chakra. It's where we follow our bliss. It's where we connect with pleasure. If pleasure is not safe, if it is a disintegrated frequency and not pure and holy and balanced, we can't connect with the ecstatic states, and therefore we cannot remember the voice of the divine or trust that voice if we do hear it. This is related to union with the divine feminine as well, and sacred sexuality between twins. This is a major reason that the divine masculines have not been able to connect with you sexually, is that you have been too pure. You have been too sexually healed, and the divine masculines haven't been able to connect with that. Maybe they haven't thought it was attractive because it's not a known universe. Divine masculines, I assure you that sacred sexuality is like nothing you've ever experienced, and your divine feminine will knock your socks off. It just won't be in the worldly ways that you have been taught are desirable. It's so much beyond that. When your sacral chakra is involved in making love, you can reach states that you've never dreamed of. What would the divine masculines like to say to the divine feminines regarding communication about this? Yeah, I want you. Oh wow, this is the 8 for infinity. So divine masculines are beginning to prefer and desire you, divine feminines. Okay, let's look at this existential crisis where their eyes are being opened. Divine masculines, your eyes are being open to how far into the world you have lost yourself. This is lost energy and a desire to get back on track. So let's see what the Starseed Oracle frequency for that is. Oh my gosh, so many fell out. I don't think I'm going to take them all. 3. 3 stuck. I'll leave those. Temple of elevated senses. Yeah, impeccability, advancement, and loftiness. You are taking it to the next level. This is the ecstatic state. This is rising above. This is taking it higher, seeking the spiritual guidance to transcend the world. And chamber of imagination, whimsy, fantasy, and wonder. So divine masculines, you don't have to hold up in the world. It's beyond your wildest dreams. The things in store for you, if you let go of those things that create the guilt, shame, the burden. And temple of celestial revelations, angelic assistance, truth, salvation, and majesty. Yeah. The truth will set you free. Where did we have that Ace of Swords in the reverse? I think we had it somewhere. I don't know where that went. Anyways, yeah, the truth will set you free. So keep going in that direction. What would the divine masculine say to you? Oh, right. Ace of Swords here with the emotional. Yeah. Salvation, second chances, the Judgment card, and the Ace of Swords. It's coming into your physical because you are emotionally aligning with that divine masculine. So what can we see for a message? Love me. Love your divine masculine, divine feminine. They just want you to love. Oh, and there is someone else in the reverse. So third party energies, whatever sexual choices the divine masculines have been choosing over this connection, they're starting to put that aside. And I just want you all the time, I believe that came out earlier, to say, oh, and I could be your hero, baby, in the reverse with no. These fell out together. No, they don't want to be your hero. They want to be your equal. Oh, that's so sweet. Absolutely sweet. I'm also hearing I couldn't save anyone if my life depended on it at this time. They really are, you know, in this drowning energy. It's like, no, I can't be your hero. I want to be your friend. I want to be your equal. Oh, how lovely. Okay, divine masculines, what a beautiful reading. That's where the divine masculines are apparently at regarding sacred sexuality, and I'll take that. Much love, everyone. Bye for now.